So I'm communicating with the world right now. So there's something I'm thinking, and I can't remember details because I'm a bit useless. But I know that trying to avoid doing something because you're feeling lazy and you don't want to do something, you don't want to work, but trying to avoid doing that can end up you having to do more to fix a problem you created by not doing something. I hope that's clear. So you try to not do something, and so you don't do it, and then that causes a problem, and the problem becomes a much bigger problem to deal with, and you have to do much more work to fix the problem. So you end up having to do more work than you wanted to by trying to avoid doing a little bit of work. So I suppose the point I'm making, even though I can't give examples, is try not to avoid doing something that's useful because you're feeling lazy. Try to not be lazy in life because not doing the thing that you're trying to avoid could end up you having to do more work to fix a problem you created. So try to avoid being lazy is the bottom line. And there's something else I want to do. Mm. Yeah, that was it. It was how do we get stuff done? I'm thinking of something like an aeroplane. How do you build an aeroplane? How do you even begin to start building an aeroplane? So if you're standing in some field somewhere and you decide you want to build an aircraft, uh, how do you begin? What's the first thing you do to begin building an aeroplane? It's completely stunning to imagine how some people build an aeroplane. And these people are normally men. Men do stuff and build stuff. And these men, let's say there are 10 men or whatever, and they want to build an aeroplane. You need to have, I suppose, a factory to build stuff, even though you don't know what you want to build. So you're in a field, a really big field. I suppose you have to build a building. And so somehow you need to construct a factory. And I don't know what would go in the factory to begin with, but you need to build the physical factory in the first place. So you have to get the materials together and whatever, and dig trenches and build the walls, and then a huge factory like a warehouse, and then a roof. Okay, so you got your building now. So what's the next step towards building an aeroplane? What's happening here is I'm stunned at how we are able to achieve so many things that we just assume will be there all the time. That we walk past cars on the road, we go into our house, we walk on pavements, we go into shops or whatever. Basically, there's lots of things around us that are already in place and built and working. But when you take just a moment to try and think of how any of these things are constructed, it is kind of mind blowing how it's possible to build so many things that we take for granted around us in our lives. I mean, how do you make a pavement? How do you get all the materials you need to build paving stones? How do you make cement? How do you get the equipment you need to chop stone into the right shape? How do you decide where the pavement will go? Where do you get all the stone from? Basically, I'm wondering how people build anything, how we even begin to build stuff. Like, if you decide you want to build a house or whatever, I don't know how you would begin to build something like a house. You obviously need loads of bricks, and you need shovels and diggers, and you need lots of stone, lots of bricks, lots of cement. It's just completely mind blowing how it's possible to construct so many things in our lives. How about a bicycle? Or what's common? Or a car? I mean, I just don't understand how it's possible to construct all these things. Because I wouldn't know how to begin to make something like a car. You need all that metal, you need all the rubber and plastic, and you need machines to form shapes, and you need to screw things together and weld things together. So you need blow torches and whatever. And you need lots of metal to begin with. We need a plan to work from. It is so completely stunning how we create things, how we create stuff, and how we manufacture things from scratch, basically. Because the beginning by itself is really hard. Getting all the materials together that you need, and you have to know what materials you need. You have to have a plan to work from. So somehow you have to plan a car before you ever see any materials. So you have to imagine how the car will be. And you need lots of machinery to cut metal or whatever. But how do you know what shapes to cut? How do you make a car bonnet and an axle, or car doors, or car roof? It's just all unimaginable how it's possible to create things. And these guys just get on and make stuff. But it is almost inconceivable how anyone begins to build a car. So if you had to go out, if you're standing in a field somewhere, and someone comes up to you and says, you have a job to do, you have to build a car, and you accept this assignment because you're a bit crazy. So how did you begin to build a car? I suppose I need lots of metal, and the metal somehow has to be in the right shapes. I need lots of plastic. I need lots of glass. And somehow I need to be able to weld the metal into shapes and whatever. And we need some kind of machines to cut metal and plastic. It is completely mind-blowing how humanity has learned to construct stuff. How men have learned not only how to build things, but how to make the machinery that could enable you to build things. So to build something, you have to start from scratch and build the thing that helps you build the thing. So it is completely stunning how we make something like a car or an aeroplane. there's so many steps need to be completed to make it possible. Getting the materials together and the design and the plan. You need buildings to house the machinery that will then cut the materials, and you need the materials from somewhere. It's completely stunning how we build stuff. And I realize I'm rambling here, so I'll stop now. But my brain is hurting thinking about this stuff.